How's your week been?
Hi, Frank. My week's been okay. How's yours?
Too bad.
Good.
Mm.
Good morning, teacher.
Hello, GQ on.
Dạ, Sau này quá.
This GQ
Thì
on
tôi tập
trying to reach out to Spanish-speaking community and giving them the gift of the knowledge, right? Is that what you've been doing? Spanish.
study for more 4 years. I was playing Spanish.
Yeah.
Now. Yeah. That's my idea. Some first one put the idea. And then imprint all the origins, concept origins.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, to get our mental juices flowing, would anybody care to review their lessons from previous week, previous session, and share what they have learned or find impressionable, and if you have come to any realization?
Yeah,
Anybody?
that's the word. I got it. I got a realization. I
Oh,
watched
yeah,
the
please.
30 minutes that you suggested of the YouTube
Okay.
video, and I think so. Perception. It's not to change them, the other people. It's not to have. I think. Am I correct to say not to have a perception? Because then we're trying to change them. I think that's what was important that you mentioned. And then we're supposed to, just trying to get the words right. I think I'm not sure how to say it. I'm not even sure if I totally understand it. But
Use your own word. Use your own word. Whatever.
Okay, I think we. So if we want them to do something a certain way, we don't want to change them. We don't want to have a perception of them doing it a certain way. I can't remember the rest there, Frank. Please help me out. And I just listened to it and I forgot.
No problem. So, I really appreciate that you've taken the time to review last week's lesson. I'm very grateful that you've come back to join us again for the continuation of our little journey. Okay, the journey to expand our awareness about ourselves, to elevate our levels of wisdom. So far, what we've introduced last week is the concept of the reality triangle. Okay, just a quick review. The idea that all things in this world, this life, has a reality triangle to it, which is on a material expression, and basically anything that we can see, hear, touch, feel, measure, or become aware of has a material expression. Okay, we simply call that our reality. Okay, it is real if we can see it, touch it, measure it, put word to it, become aware of it. Okay, so whether it's a material object or non-material concepts such as happiness and love and wisdom, okay, there is a material expression that we can see, feel, touch, taste, or become aware of. And borrowing from the scientific understanding, everything that has a material expression, matter, for example, matter, okay? Everything that has a material expression also has an energetic component, the vibrational energy that gives rise to that specific material expression. And if we want to understand where that energy comes from, where that material expression comes from, we look deep inside and we discover that there is a specific arrangement of information. Okay, just like lead and gold are arranged in specific way that give it a certain energy, which gives us a certain material expression of lead looking shiny and lead looking dull and gold looking nice and shiny. Similarly, the idea of um, graphite on the tip of your pencil, which is common carbon versus diamond. Okay, they are all carbon, but the arrangement of the carbon in a certain way makes it diamond or makes it common coal. Okay, so if we want to change the material expression of anything, all we gotta do is go back to the information, look at the arrangement of the information, and then we can change the arrangement of the information. Okay, just as we can change the atomic structure of lead and gold, or we can change the arrangement of the carbon within graphite, we can turn it into diamond. Similarly with a human being, okay? Reality of happiness, for instance, has a certain material expression that we can see, we can feel it, okay? The material expression of health is this kind of thing that we can see and feel and sense and become aware of. And then if we want to become a person of happiness, or we become a person of wisdom, all we got to do is go back to the information. And when it comes to the information within us, the information within an individual, it is that which we know, that which we believe, and that which we understand, right? So what we know, what we believe, what we understand about a certain concept makes up the source concept, which will give rise to the energy and give rise to the physical or material expression of that concept. Okay, just a tool called the triangle of reality. So what we're doing here is we are expanding our knowledge, we are expanding our belief and our understanding about what it means to be a human being. Moreover, what it means to be a human being who is happy, who is healthy, who is at peace, who is living the kind of life that is worth living. Okay, so with last week, we applied the triangle of reality to wisdom. Okay, just as everything has a material expression, we will talk about the material expression of wisdom later. But before that, we want to focus on the informational aspect of wisdom, just the source concept of wisdom. And we mentioned that when it comes to wisdom, most people have a vague idea what wisdom is because it's vague. They cannot grasp it, they cannot use it, and they cannot benefit from it. Here, we simplify wisdom. We make it simple to understand so that we can grasp it, so that we can master it and make it a part of our life. When it comes to wisdom, there are 5 levels of awareness corresponding to 5 levels of wisdom. Level 1 awareness is simply the awareness such that people, things, event, phenomenon are either good or bad, true or false, should or should not, like, dislike, etc., etc. Okay, level 1 awareness, and we all have level 1 awareness from the time we were young children to the time that we are adult, all the way to the day we die. We have level 1 awareness. Okay, people, things, phenomenon, events to us have good or bad, should or should not, like or dislike. And while that awareness is wonderful to help us survive in this world, it does not necessarily bring us the kind of life that we really, really want. A life of happiness, a life of peace, a life of good health, good wealth. And so we look at the people who have level 1 wisdom. From level 1 awareness, we look at the person who has level 1 wisdom. It turns out that people who have wisdom simplify it even more. Okay, they make things simple, and instead of letting their mind, their awareness, switch between good and bad, like a dislike, they proactively choose to look for the positive in things. A person of wisdom is a person who proactively choose to look at the brighter side of life. Okay, that's something that we tend to hear, looking at the brighter side of life. They look for the good in people. They look for the opportunity in a crisis as opposed to the negativity. And because a person of wisdom can proactively choose to look for the positive side of things, their life will tend to be more positive. they reap the benefit of positivity. Okay, that is also a statement on the law of causality. Causality basically say for every seed that you plant, you will reap the fruit of the same seed. If you plant a mango seed, you're going to reap a mango fruit. If you plant a mango seed that is good and healthy, you're likely going to reap the fruit that is also good and healthy. The problem with human being is that we don't know what seed we plant, and all we see is the fruit. Sometimes the fruit is bad, and we try to fix the problem of our life, which is an analogy that says that we try to fix the bad fruit. Okay, we try to fix the bad fruit all the time. We try to fix our health. We try to fix our relationship all the time, and it just doesn't quite work. And we don't always get the result we want. That is because we haven't discovered that we each have within us not only awareness level 1, positive and negative, but we have a wisdom. Now, if we focus on the positive side of things, we are going to reap the benefit of positivity. When it comes to other people, instead of focusing on what they do wrong, we proactively look for that which they do right. And we make a big deal out of what they do right. We make a big deal out of the good thing that people do. And by the law of, by the principle of light, if we bring light into the room, then there's no room for darkness. If we make a big deal out of the good things that we experience, then there's less time and space to worry about the bad thing. In a relationship with our spouse, with our children, if we invest the time and the effort in recognizing, acknowledging the good things in other people, then there will be less time for them to misbehave. It's that simple. Okay, we focus on making big the light, then the darkness will go away. We're not trying to fix the problem. We're not trying to remove the problem. We're not trying to remove the darkness from the room. We just gotta nurture the good seed, and that good seed will grow up to be a nice, good plant, and it'll bear good fruit. It's that simple. It's so simple that some people have difficulty grasping for it because their mind is so mired in the muck, in the darkness. Okay, that's the beauty of wisdom level 1. We proactively choose to look at the brighter side of things. We proactively look at the good things in other people. Imagine in a employment relationship where the boss actively look for the things that the employee do right and acknowledge them for it and reward them for it and publicize them for it. And if an employee gets recognized for the thing that they do right, in fact, most of the time you look at it, in order to keep the organization or the business going, most of the time they spend things doing right, right? Yourself and other people around you, most of the time, 9 out of 10 times that we do in a day is generally the right and the good thing. But if a boss focus on the negative thing and call out the negative thing, then what's that going to do? Is that going to lower the energy level of the employee? Then yeah, they may change the behavior just to please the boss, but overall, what you do is you create a negative energy. And so they are not going to be focusing on doing things right. They're going to be focusing on avoiding mistakes. People who are very successful focus on what they want, not what they don't want. And wisdom is about the positive. Wisdom is about focusing on what we want and not avoiding what we don't want. Okay, that is essentially the principle of light as applied to wisdom. Okay, is that clear so far?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So the moment that we discover level 1 wisdom, life, it's pretty simple. Life can be very freeing because we are no longer wasting our time muddling in the dark. We're not wasting our time trying to remove darkness that will never leave. In fact, light and dark is always there, right? But whether we experience light or we experience darkness has to do with which direction we are facing. Okay, just like the earth. The earth is, for me, it's daylight now. It's in the afternoon. It's still daylight. But in Vietnam, it's probably dark. Okay. If it is light now, it's not because the darkness completely go away. It's just because the earth is facing the light. So it's the same thing with our experience of light. We experience light. We experience positivity only because we are facing that way. we are exposing ourselves to it, and so we are experiencing positivity. If we turn around and we are looking into the darkness, we're going to get more darkness. Okay, the more we look for darkness, the more we look for problem, the more we're going to find problem. And mudding around in the darkness is not going to help us find the way into the light. It is only when we proactively choose to turn our face toward the light that we will experience light, that we will experience positivity in life. Okay, so that is just level 1 darkness, level 1 awareness. Okay, so with the anybody want to say anything? I saw Ron and I saw Ji Hua just now. Anybody want to share any more of their lesson realization before we move on to level 2 awareness and wisdom?
Hi, Frank and everyone. No, it's good. We will just be listening, and we're busy just half an hour, and we'll be back with you.
Okay, all right.
Thank you. Yes.
Andrew, does that little review jot any more memory or spark any more realization for you?
Just sitting here listening, I'm getting more experience, and more will sink in.
Okay.
Just to be positive and not try to change people.
Excellent. Yeah. Yeah, Mahatma Gandhi said that how do you say it? Be the change that you want to see in the world. Okay, many of us make the mistake of wanting to change the world, not realizing that by trying to change the world, it just doesn't work. But you can change the world by changing yourself, beginning with our awareness and perception. Okay, and later on we'll discover a little bit more on how our changing of our own awareness and perception will actually change other people as well. Okay, but that's later. Okay, for now we're gonna work on the good seed within us. Okay, if you remember the good seed. Okay, yeah, let's do this before we go to level 2. Okay, so once again, this is the House of Holistic Wealth or House of Holistic Health. It is a principle of light. Instead of trying to fix the problems of our lives, we go to work on lighting up a bunch of candles in our house. Candle of wisdom, candle of mentality, candle of character, physical vitality, candle of competency and material well-being. And we'll tie all of that together at the very end with the candle of integrity and virtue. Okay, so right now, we're working on this first seed, which is wisdom. So whereas level 1 awareness and wisdom has to deal with seeing, life in a positive or negative dimension, there is level 2 awareness and wisdom. Okay, we are already exposed to level 2 awareness and wisdom, but now we give words to it. Okay, awareness level 2. A person with awareness level 2 is simply a person who recognizes that the root cause of life begins with the self. Remember the formula for the root cause of life? Remember that every outcome that we have in our life today comes from a series of choices that we have made. And because they come from the series of choices that we've made, the root cause of our life is essentially begin with me. Okay, the root cause of life begins with me. And I don't blame anybody. It is not my fault. A person of level 2 awareness recognizes the root cause of life begin with the self. But it's not my fault. First of all, it begins with me, so I cannot blame other people. Secondly, it's not my fault because at the moment of my choosing, I made the best possible choice given what I know at that time. So I don't need to blame myself either. So by default, a person of level 2 awareness protects themselves against negativity and they protect other people against negativity. They take full and complete responsibility for their own choices in life. Okay, the root cause of life begins with the self, and that is a awareness. Okay, some people tend to be more responsible for their own choices, and other people tend to blame other people. And when you notice the person who tend to take responsibility for themselves generally reap the better outcome in life. Okay, level 2 has to do with awareness that the root cause of life begins with the self. That's just an awareness. Okay, a person of level 2 wisdom is a little bit more powerful. The person of level 2 wisdom is a person who create positive mental images. Okay? Remember the formula for the root cause of life. The outcome of life begins with the mental images. All that we have heard, all that we have seen, that which we hear, that which we see, everything that we say and know, all of that makes up our mental images. And from those images, it makes up the foundation of our belief. Our beliefs shape our choices. Our choice give the consequence that we have today. And so by understanding that the root cause of life begin with me, with the self, and I understand that the root of all of that, the root within me, the root cause within me is my mental images, then I can proactively change the mental images. So we have that statement, to change mental images is to change my life. Okay, clear mental images equals the outcome. And simply to change mental images is to change my life. Okay, it's that simple. Level 2 awareness is root cause of life, begin with me. And a person of level 2 wisdom proactively create a positive mental images about ourselves, about other people. All right, which is a little better than the wisdom, which is better than the wisdom level 1. Wisdom level 1 is that, okay, there is positive and negative, and I look for positivity. Okay, a person could do 10 things, and 5 of those things are bad, but we choose to let go of the bad and we focus on the good that the other person do. We make a big deal out of it, acknowledge it, compliment them. A person of level 2 wisdom, on the other hand, create a positive image out of nothing. A person of level 2 wisdom create a positive image out of nothing. Why? Because they also recognize that the essence of all things is empty. Okay? Everything that I perceive is from my own mind. It is not an essence that comes from that person. And so because the essence of all things is empty, it is essentially nothing. It has potential to be anything. There's unlimited potential in another person or another event or object. And because another person or event or an object has unlimited potential, they can be anything. And we can invent, we can create. We can begin by create a possibility. There's an infinite possibility that we can apply to any person, event, or phenomenon. You can begin by create a new possibility, a new mental image. So great leaders are the people who will look at another person and see the potential of that other person. Not who they are right now, not all the shortcomings and even not all of the accomplishment, but their potential to be something much greater. A person of level 2 wisdom also see that in themselves. They are essentially no one. And because they are no one, they can be anyone. And if they can be anyone, you can create a possibility for yourself. Who I am is a possibility of being happy. Who I am is a possibility of being healthy, wealthy. Who I am is a possibility of being loving and generous with other people. That is a person of level 2 wisdom, a person who can create a mental images that is positive and alignment with the principle of light. Okay, you don't want to create negative images. Okay, so there's a difference between level 1 and 2. Okay, level 1 wisdom, we just look at the good. With level 2, you create the good, beginning with the mental images. And we will find this in the very successful people. They will create, have an idea about a project. Let's say an engineer wants to build a bridge across a river that has never existed before. That is just a mental image. From a physical, worldly perspective, they have a mental image of a bridge across the river, and then they go about creating a bridge. That is the point of view of the worldly matter. But from the point of view of the human life and experience, we can also do that too. We can look at another person and look at their potential. There is a potential for another person to be loving, to be mature, to be successful, to be any kind of thing. But if we allow ourselves to create that potentiality, that possibility, then guess what? Our mental images is what we hear, what we see, what we say, and what we know. It begins to set a foundation of our belief about that other person. It starts to influence the way we think about the other person. It influences the way we interact with other person, our behavior, our habit, and all of that will go into influencing that other person. Yeah, the way we treat other person can actually influence who they are. That is also the law of causality. Okay. In the Western world, there's a saying, there's a golden rule: treat others as you would want to be treated. If you treat another person as if they are a good person, guess what? At that moment, you are actually creating a good person. Yeah, that is the power of level 2 wisdom. You can create out of nothing. It has to be out of nothing. Because if you already see a negative picture of another person, you can't create out of that negativity. We have to empty it out, come to an awareness and perception that everybody and everyone is essentially nothing or empty. Then whatever new meaning is a meaning that we can create for ourselves and for other people. Does anybody get this part? Let's see if we can do a little bit of sharing on this part. Hello anh Thầy Luân. Hello Nguyễn Hữu Hân. Would anybody care to share something about level 2 awareness and wisdom? Does anybody get anything out of that so far? Level 2 awareness and wisdom. You said something, chị Hoa?
Oh, when you were saying, thank you. When you were saying about wisdom number 2 is every life starts with me. The root cause of life starts with me. That's for level number 2. And because of level number 2, when we know the root of light starts with me, and there's no blame, self or others. And so that becomes compassion.
Yeah, can you expand that a little bit more?
So when we have the compassion, because that is when we chose at that moment, because we only know what was the best for it. That's why we don't blame self or others, or whoever chose their whoever chose the that decision or choose make that decision. Also, it was with the best of their knowledge.
Yeah. So
Thank
with yeah, exactly. So with the awareness that the root cause of life begin with me, then when I look at another person with level two, with when I apply level two awareness and wisdom to other people, root cause of life begin with me. So when I look at another person, I don't see right or wrong. Okay, because root cause of life begin with me. There's nothing wrong with another person. And because there's nothing wrong with other people, then I can afford to be loving with them, toward them. And because there's nothing wrong with them, I can love them unconditionally. Right? With conditional love, you have to be good in order to receive the love. That is an economic exchange. With conditional love, you have to be good in order for me to love you, or you have to love me in order for me to love you. But with level two awareness and wisdom, root cause of life begin with me. There's nothing wrong with other people. And because there's nothing wrong with other people, we can afford to love them unconditionally. And if you can love another person unconditionally in this moment, and the next moment, and the next moment, and you keep sustain it, that becomes eternal love. Okay? Does anybody get that? You see the connection between the power of level two awareness and wisdom, right? When we love another person and we create a possibility for them to be good and great, and we don't see anything wrong with them, then we can literally love them unconditionally. Does anybody get that? What do you think, Andrew?
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, yeah, okay. So there is a power in expanding our awareness to level two. Okay. We protect ourselves from negativity. We don't blame ourselves. We don't blame other people. And it opens up the possibility for unconditional love. We can afford to be very generous with other people because we don't see any problem with them. Okay. All right. Let's jump to level three awareness. Okay. Level three awareness. Okay. Level three awareness is the awareness of emptiness of being. Okay. We already briefly mentioned this. Okay. Level three awareness is awareness of emptiness of being. And it is best to illustrate it with the following picture. And I invite you to draw with me. Okay. We begin with this word, remember? As a human being, we have the will. Yellow maybe a little hard to hear, so see, so I'm just going to use the pink. We have the will to hear. We have the will to see. With the will to yeah, we're gonna say talk. And the will to know. Okay? All wrapped up in a highly energized light, a field of light. Okay? This is called our true self, our true nature, our being. In the previous sharing, I used the word spirit, but we're going to move away from the word spirit for now. But we're going to use the word being. Okay? It is an open concept. It's kind of empty in itself. Our being is our true self. It is actually empty. Okay, it is actually empty because let's continue drawing a little bit. Let's use this one. Okay, so this one. This is a simplified version of the map of human nature, and it is considered the human structure or the human construct. Okay. Let's color. So when we encounter, as a human being, when we encounter a message from the external world, okay, the message could be an image, could be
Thời Thuận thì tối 16 tháng Thời Thuận ha. Ok. Thuận đó là muốn mất Thuận ha.
So let me read that one. Okay. So as a human being, we can encounter a message from the external world. Could be an image, could be a word, could be an event, could be some people. And if you remember, we went through the whole map of the human nature, this one. So this is a complicated picture of the human structure, right? The will to hear, the will to see, the will to speak, or the will to know, or here I use the word to talk. And outside of that, we have reception, imagination, expression, cognition. We have wealth, beauty, identity, consumption, rest. We have desire, temperament, perception, pride, inquiry, ethos. All of that makes up our personality, makes up our ego. Okay. And then right outside of that, we have the emotion. We have the 84,000 bubbles of illusion, which stands for the emotion. And then we have the body. Okay. So these are the different layers, and we simplify that into this picture. When we experience a message from the external world, let's say somebody call us stupid. Well, first of all, when we experience any message from the external world, let me ask you, which part of our human construct will receive the message first? Is it the emotion that receives it first? Is it the mind that receives it first? Or is it our being, our will to hear, to see, to talk, and to know that will receive it first? What do you think? Which of these three layers?
Usually it's emotion, but we want the will to hear, to see.
Okay, usually we think that it is our emotion that will receive it first. Okay, in fact, some people, as soon as they encounter something as strong as the word stupid, or it could be pretty, okay, maybe pretty. Somebody compliment us as pretty. And immediately we respond or we react. Either we enjoy it, we like it, or we think it's an insult and we get angry. Or some people don't react emotionally, but they start to analyze. And they start to think, oh, why did that person call me stupid? Am I really stupid? Are they being mean? Are they joking? Start to analyze. So we, as a human being, due to our natures, due to our 16 human natures, which makes up our personality, the mind will analyze and differentiate. Okay, the mind will analyzes and differentiates. That's why we have good, bad, true, false, like, or dislike. And the emotion, usually we react with the emotion, immediately react. But here, since we have begun to light up the candle of our wisdom, we are going to invite you to, instead of react, you will respond. Okay? Those are just words. Now, let's go back to that question earlier. Which of these layers, the emotion, the mind, or this layer, which we're going to call the being, our core being, receives the message first? Which of these layers receives it first? See, we have this true self, which is the will to hear, the will to see, the will to talk, and the will to know, which is already always there. We are already always hearing, we are already always seeing, and we are already always talking and knowing. That does not change over space and time. Because it does not change over space and time, because it's already always there, it is our being that will receive the message first. We receive it first, and then we have some content in order to analyze and respond. Right? You have to have content before we start to analyze the content and then react to the content. But the space of it is so small, so short, that we feel like, oh, we just immediately react. But is it? Think about it. Do we have to receive it first before we have some content to analyze it? So there's three layers. There's a layer of our inner being, the layer of our mind, and the layer of our emotion. Do we have to receive the content before we open the content, analyze it, and then react to it? It could be a nanosecond. But it is always the case that our being will receive the message first. It will hear it, it will see it. And then another part of our mind will analyze it as good or bad. And then we will respond to it or react to it as I like it or I dislike it, I am angry or I am pleasing. Right? Can we agree? Right? This is an important moment to expand our awareness about ourself. That we have this being that will receive the message first before the mind and emotion jumps in. It is only because this gap between the receiving and the analyzing and responding is so short, so small, that we don't realize that we actually received it first. Okay, but here's the power. If we can allow the receiving process to stretch out a little longer, simply by knowing that I hear, knowing that I see. Simply knowing that you hear and know that you see stretches out a little bit. Even before knowing before hearing what and seeing what, okay, that's content. Before hearing what and seeing what, there is the hearing and the seeing. The hearing and the seeing is something that is already always there. And if we can pay attention to the already always hearing and the already always seeing, we will experience a space of no content. That is called emptiness of being. It is a space of emptiness with no content. Because there's no content, there's nothing to analyze, there's nothing to differentiate, nothing to feel good or bad about. And if we can actually experience that space of emptiness, we can associate that with inner peace and balance. But a person who fails to allow the being to take place longer, they quickly jump into analyzing and feeling, then they will be always struggling with the mind and the emotion, always like drowned in the ocean of the personality. That's where pain and suffering comes from. And so that is why we call it, the truth will set you free. You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. The truth is this true self that never changes. The will to hear, the will to see is already always there, and it does not change. And it is the part of ourself that will always receive the message first. And if we let the receiving part take place long enough, we will feel inner peace. We will feel emptiness of being. And that is called level 3 awareness. Okay, most of us have not, some of us have, some people have this awareness of emptiness where, I don't know, some of us may, anybody ever experience a moment in time when we just witness an event or somebody say something and we don't respond to it. We don't feel a need to analyze it. We don't feel a need to feel anything about it. We just know that, oh, okay, I'm hearing and I'm seeing. Anybody here fortunate enough to experience something like that? Think back.
Yeah.
Sometime, right? Yeah. So yeah, as a human being, most of us are fortunate enough to be aware of it. All of us have it. All human beings have this true nature, the nature of hearing and seeing. Some of us are fortunate enough to experience it more often or longer than other people. But now we bring it back to your attention so that you can proactively get into that state a little bit more often than not. So basically, with level 3 awareness, it is the state of emptiness of being. With level 3 wisdom, simple. A person of level 3 wisdom is a person who proactively choose to notice. Notice the hearing, seeing, saying, and knowing. Okay, for now, just focusing on the hearing and the seeing. Anytime we encounter a message from the external world, instead of paying attention to the message, because the moment you pay attention to the message, it's already too late. The analyzing and differentiation already jumped in. When I'm hearing something or I'm seeing something, that is the mind, that is the mind part that is giving meaning to it. Okay, you've already lost sight or bypass the being, the layer of the being. So when somebody's saying stupid or pretty, before we even allow ourselves to hear what is being said, simply pay attention to the fact that there is the hearing and the seeing. And that is wisdom level 3. With wisdom level 3, we can experience that space of emptiness we call emptiness of being, or an inner emptiness. And if we can experience that state of emptiness, one of the benefits of that is a feeling of serenity or inner peace. Okay? And there is a power of emptiness and inner peace because what comes after that? If we allow the space of emptiness to extend long enough, we reach a state of balance. If our inner being is at a state of balance, then the next thought that comes up, the next analysis or next differentiation, the next mental image that comes up, it becomes more simple to come up with positive mental images. Because if we don't allow ourselves to enter that state of balance and we immediately get sucked down into the water and we are drowned in negativity, that's gonna hard to pull ourselves up and be positive. But if we can initiate level 3 awareness and wisdom, strike that balance, maintain it for a little while, even if it's just a few seconds. Okay, a few seconds is long enough for us to make a better decision, make a better choice with respect to how to think and how to respond. It is still causality, but this is where our ability to expand the space of emptiness and serenity so that our choices in life would have a higher chance of being positive and desirable. Do you guys get that? It's that simple. Level 3 awareness and wisdom. We all have it. That is why some of you have heard of the story of the of human beings and the demons, right? Okay, so this is an allegory. Long time ago, human beings and the demon used to live in the same world. Because of our major differences, human beings and demon fought. They have a war, and human being won the war. And the human being decided to banish the demon from the human world. But before leaving the human world, demons got together and came up with one last act of revenge. One of the demons said, "Let us steal the most precious things that human beings have and hide it." And another demon said, "Okay, good idea. Let's steal the this most precious thing that human beings have and hide it in the mountain of Himalayas where human cannot get to." Now, the demon saying they'll eventually climb the Himalayas, they'll find it. Another demon saying, "Let's hide it in the deepest jungle." Another demon said, they'll eventually clear the forest and they'll find it. Third demon said, "Let's hide this most precious thing that humans have and under the deepest ocean." Another demon said, human will eventually build submarine and they will explore the deepest ocean and they'll find whatever it is that we hide. And finally, one wise demon said, "I know, let us steal the most precious thing that human beings have and hide it so deep inside them that they can never find." Because as human beings, they have the tendency to look outside of themselves for things that have meaning and give value to their lives. Yeah, that's what we've been doing, right? We've been looking outside of ourselves. We look at other people. We look to change other people. We look at changing our circumstances. We're looking outside of ourselves for the most precious thing that we have. The state of our true self, the state of emptiness and inner peace is deep within. Fortunately for us, the wise sages, the Buddha, the Jesus Christ have point to us that you already have that within you. All you got to do is look inside. Once you know this truth, you will be set free. And once we recognize that, oh, we are always ready, we're always hearing and seeing, anytime we encounter a message in the external world, any situation, anybody, any crisis, any problems, we take a moment, we slow down, we pay attention not to the message itself, but to the hearing and the seeing. And if we can extend that space of emptiness, of hearing and seeing, there's no content just yet, then we will experience inner peace. And from that inner peace, from that state of balance, we can choose the next step. We can choose to create positive images about the person, about the event, about the phenomenon that we encounter. And from that inner peace, and we can take command of it, and we can choose positivity, and eventually all of our external circumstances will also be positive. This is how we can erase all the sins of the world. This is how we can eliminate all the wars of the world. Not by building bigger weapons so that we can defeat our enemy, but by taking complete and full control of our inner being. That is awareness and wisdom level 3. Okay. What do you guys think? Any impression? Realization? Question? There are two more levels of wisdom, and I'm not going to get into level 4 and level 5. Okay, we don't need to talk about that just yet. We'll mention it later in some other section. And that is the source concept of wisdom. Okay, 5 levels of awareness. Today we talk about wisdom level 3. Okay, and just as everything has a triangle of reality, wisdom also have a triangle of reality of wisdom. Once we can establish the source concept, the information within a substance, we can begin to cause the energy that is corresponding to that specific wisdom, information. So once we have the information or the source concept of wisdom, what is the energy of wisdom? Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the energy of wisdom. With energy of wisdom, let's use red. What do you think? No. Okay. Energy of wisdom. Okay. Let's start with level 1. Level 1, energy of wisdom. With the level 1 awareness, it is awareness of good, bad, true or false. Okay. For now, we know that that is only brings suffering. If we're always stuck in the choosing between good, bad, true or false, like or dislike. A person of wisdom level 1 look for the positivity in all things. And when a person looks for the positive aspect of people and things, a type of energy will manifest from that source concept. When people look for positive things, what happens is that they will give rise to an energy called honoring gratitude. When a person authentically look at another person and they look at the good thing about the other person, they are essentially honoring that person. When a person look at a situation and they look at the positive side of that situation, what they are essentially doing is they are being thankful for that situation. A person of wisdom is a person who proactively initiate the energy of honoring gratitude with respect to all people and all things. Science has already been able to determine that a person who carries the energy of honoring gratitude generally live a very healthy, happy life. Okay? It is a mentality, it is an attitude. If a person carries the mentality of being grateful for everything and everyone, their life is going to be pretty good. Just kind of step back and look around at the people in your life whom you find to be very grateful for everything. Everything that we do, they're so grateful. Would we like to be close to those people that they're grateful? Would we like to help those people? Would we like to support those people? Do we want to give them gifts? Do we want to be close to them? And vice versa, if we are a person who is grateful for other people and other things, people want to be with us. They're going to want to help us. If we honor other people, they're going to want to be with us. They're going to want to help us. So out of all the possible mentality and attitude that a person can initiate, we invite you to initiate the mentality of honoring gratitude, which is associated with wisdom level 1. Okay? Honoring gratitude. To honor something is to honor something is to make it very, very real, make it to possess it. To be grateful for it is to make it last a long time. Imagine a marriage relationship when the husband and a wife honor each other every day, every moment of their life. And they are grateful for everything that the other person does. What would that marriage relationship look like? As opposed to a marriage relationship where the wife and the husband constantly judging each other, right or wrong, good or bad, like or dislike. A marriage relationship where the spouse honor each other and are grateful for each other is a marriage that is going to last. Imagine a parent and child relationship where the parent honor the present of the child, irregardless of what they do. They may do 10 things that is bad behavior, but you can honor the time that you spend with them. Be grateful that we are alive, the child is alive enough for us to yell at them. Yeah. Imagine what the work relationship would be like if the co-worker were to honor the opportunity to serve and is grateful for the chance to be a part of the journey of the business. Or vice versa, what would your work environment be like if your boss honor your presence and is grateful for your contribution? So a person of level 1 wisdom who can maintain the mentality of honoring gratitude is a person who will attract positivity into all aspects of their life. What would our life be like if we honor our money and we are grateful for the money that we receive? You think that we can multiply our money if we are grateful and honor it, as opposed to not honoring our money and just spending it and wastefully without meaning and purpose? To have a meaningful use of money is to honor and to be grateful for money. And usually those people will multiply their money. They'll become rich materially on an emotional level and on a spiritual level as well. So with honoring gratitude, that is a energy of wisdom that is associated with level 1 wisdom. Okay. Level 2, wisdom and energy. Earlier, we already said the source concept of wisdom, level 2, is the awareness that root cause of life begin with me. And a person of level 2 wisdom is someone who can create positive mental images about other people. And so because a person of level 2 wisdom does not look at the positive and negative aspect of other people, they only create the possibility of positivity within other person, then they can afford to be very generous. They can afford to be very tolerant. They can afford to be very compassionate with other people. And that mentality of unconditional love, the mentality of being tolerant, the mentality of being generous with other people expresses the mentality of magnanimity. Okay, magnanimity or magnanimous. The word magna is a Latin word for great. Animus is a Latin word for spirit. Magnanimous is a person of great spirit. It is a energy level. It is a mentality, an attitude. A person of magnanimity is a person who is so big and generous they can afford to hold and behold anyone and everyone. Magnanimous or magnanimity. It's a state of being so generous that you can hold and behold, right? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. We all know that statement, right? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. The person of level 2, wisdom, is a person who invent the mental image. We look at another person and we see beauty. That is beauty in the eye of the beholder. We create a positive mental image about another person. And because we create a mental image about other person that is positive, and our spirit is so great, we can afford to hold them within our gaze. We can see the possible, the potential. We can offer them our generosity, our unconditional love. And that speaks to the energy of magnanimity. Okay? It is a mentality, it is an attitude of magnanimity. It's state of being so great and big. Okay? And with level 3, we already mentioned it. With level 3, awareness and wisdom, a person who can tap into that state of emptiness will access the energy of serenity. Okay, the energy of serenity, which is inner peace. If our inner being is serene and balanced, then our mind, our emotion, our body will also be in balance. The way we think, the way we behave will also be in balance. It will also be serene. And our interaction with other people will also be balanced and serene. A person who can maintain a energy of serenity can create world peace just by being. Just by being. They don't really have to do much. They just have to be. The energy of serenity is an energy that can create world peace. Okay? And so what we're really giving you is the second candle in the house of holistic wealth. Okay? What we begin is with wisdom. We talked about the source concept of wisdom, level 1, level 2, level 3. Each source concept or information of wisdom give rise to a corresponding energy level. The energy of honoring gratitude, the energy of magnanimity, the energy of serenity, that is the candle of mentality. A wise person is a person who can appropriately choose which level of wisdom to initiate given the appropriate circumstances. When you got nothing better to do, just be at peace. Stay serene. If we are encountering another person, initiate magnanimity. Be generous with them. Be loving, because there's no problem. There's no problem with other people, no problem with us. So we can afford to be generous. If we encounter a situation where there are a problem, then we choose to look at a positive side of things. We see the opportunity in the crisis. We see the good in other people as opposed to focus on the negative aspect of the other people and or situation. That is level one, level two, level three. A person of wisdom is a person who has a rich mentality. A person of rich mentality is a person who can, at appropriate time, rotate and pick and choose the appropriate mentality, if for no other reason than to protect themselves and other people around them. Do you get that? Okay. That is the energy of wisdom. That is the candle of mentality. Write down here. Mentality is the energy of wisdom. Okay, mentality is the energy of wisdom. And the since wisdom has, like as all thing, it has the okay, the energy of wisdom is honoring gratitude. Okay, it is, oops, that's not honoring gratitude. It is magnanimity, a state of being so big that you can afford to hold and behold anyone and everyone, magnanimity, and serenity. The energy of wisdom, also known as the mentality of a person of rich mentality. So what we begin to do was to expand a person's awareness and perception. And we have enriched our wisdom, and we have enriched our mentality. Okay? Did anybody get that so far? Any question? Impression? I want to say hello to Miss Ngọc Lan, Mr. Kevin Cao, System Builder. Hello, Hồ Ngọc Phước. Hello, Miss Thanh Thủy. Would anybody like to say hello?
Hello, Mr. Wong.
Mm-hmm.
How are you?
I'm doing well. Would you like to share your impression and realization?
Yeah, I first time to join here because I register and I want to improve my English in terms of the wisdom. I can speak like general English, right? But yeah, this is a very good chance to deeply understand by English. Yeah, I can learn everything from Vietnamese, but it's better to know in English, so I may tell to anyone I know about this deep root education. Yeah.
Great. Well, I'm very grateful that you've taken the time to join our Zoom today. I'm honored by your presence and the fact that you spoke up. You're in Toronto? Are you near Andrew?
Yeah. I
Andrew, are
am
you
in
near
Toronto.
Toronto?
Yeah. I and now it's night time, right? It's 10:15 in Toronto.
Okay. Well, we have a bunch of you're Canadian, Canada, right? Toronto,
Yeah,
Canada, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Vietnamese Canadian. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we have a bunch of Canadians in the room. You guys should connect with each other. So I think Andrew is in Canada. Ron Vicia is in Canada.
Yeah, I think Mr. Andrew, I already met him already.
Oh,
Hi,
okay.
Kevin.
He's Lisa friend, right?
Hi, Kevin. How you doing?
Yeah, very good.
Yeah,
Great to
okay.
see you here. I cannot recognize you up to Mr. Won introduce you. Yeah. Okay, great.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Okay. Alrighty. Welcome. Chị Ngọc Lan, did you would like to say something? Any lesson, impression, or realization?
Hi everyone. I only speak English. I only speak Vietnamese. I speak English a little. I'm here. I'm listen everyone. I want to improve my English.
Okay. Alrighty. Thank you. Very welcome and grateful for your presence. Okay. You guys set your schedule, set your calendar. We do this every basically every Wednesday in Pacific Coast time, this time. So so stick with the program. Anybody here, if you are in the Mentor 7 or if you graduated Mentor 6 or previously, I also host a practicing session for you to share the knowledge in English on Saturday. Okay, so connect with me if you don't know the time. Okay. Okay. Anybody want to share any impression on what we have learned so far before I move on to the last part of today's sharing, which is the material expression of wisdom? Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Let's take a look at what material expression of wisdom look like. Okay. So now we have talked about the source concept or the information of wisdom. We've taken, different concepts and we arrange them into a source concept so that we have a greater awareness about wisdom. We understand the energy of wisdom, which equates to the mentality. Okay, our mentality, our positive mentality. Instead of worrying about so many different ways of being, so many different mentality and attitude, just focus on being grateful. Just focus on being magnanimous and generous with people, and focus on being at peace, which is serenity. Okay, there's a wonderful prayer attributed to Mother Teresa, one of the greatest human beings ever lived. The prayer says, "Please grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change that which I can, and the wisdom to know the difference." Okay? Please grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, including other people and circumstances. Okay? The courage to change that which I can, which is myself. It's kind of hard. It takes some courage to change ourselves, change our awareness, change our perception. But here we simplify it so much that it doesn't even, not all that difficult to change ourselves. The serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change that which I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Okay. Yeah. So beautiful, powerful little prayer attributed to Mother Teresa, who was basically considered a living saint. Okay. So when we look at people of wisdom or wise people, including Mother Teresa, including the saint, including people in our own lives who we consider wise, they have a certain material expression. Something about them that we can sort of feel, touch, or see, or become aware of that is very distinct from other people whom we don't consider to be so wise. Okay. And at the same time, based on consensus of other people's experiences and research, we discover that a person of wisdom generally manifests the following qualities. One of it is a quality of simplicity. The material expression of wisdom is simplicity. Instead of being mired in the muck of the traumas of life, instead of complicating life, wise people have a way of simplifying things to make life, simple to live. They align themselves with principles and laws. They look at the positive instead of the negative. They are generous with other people, right? Have you ever met a wise grandma or a wise old grandpa who's very generous and tolerant of you? Right? Do they honor people? Are they grateful for things that happen? All of that energy and information give rise to the expression of simplicity. Life is pretty simple to them. Okay, so simplicity is one of the material expression of wisdom. And another thing is simplicity give rise to joy. Okay, simplicity give rise to joy. Okay, yeah, simplicity give rise to joy. Everything is so complicated, everything is so complex, it's kind of hard to find joy. But a person who experiences simplicity or who simplify things will find the benefit of simplifying things is that they find things to be very joyful as well. Okay, when we look at another person and we consider them wise, we will also notice that they are also joyful or full of joy. Not only do they express joy, but they also bring joy to other people. When we look at another person and they're full of sadness and depression and they're critical of everything, we don't think of that person as a wise person. Right? But when we think about a wise person, they have joy as part of their being. Okay. Another thing is that a person of wisdom tend to be trusting. Okay. Simplicity, joy, or trust. Okay. Instead of trusting, they say trust. They trust other people and they cause other people to trust them. Right? When we have a question about life or something important that we want to find a person of wisdom to ask, we trust that their words, their experience will enlighten us, will give us wisdom. Okay, and a boss, for example, who is very wise, will trust their employee to perform the function. A person who does not trust other people end up doing everything else, who end up doing everything on their own. Right? And if you can trust other people, if you can proactively trust other people, then it will bring lightness into your life. Okay, this is an example of parenting as well as being an employer. If you can trust your children to do the chore and to behave, then you don't have to worry so much about managing their behavior. If a boss can trust their employees to perform their function without having to supervise every little thing, then the job can be pretty simple. The burden will be light. Simplicity, joy, trust, and lightness are the material expression or the physical manifestation of a person of wisdom. Okay, what would your life be like if everything was nice and simple? What would our life be like if we had joy in our life? If we are joyful, if other people around us have joy? What would our life be like when we can trust people around us and they can trust us? In a marriage relationship, what would a marriage relationship be like if there was simplicity, joy, and trust in it? Does it also kind of feel light? Right? Instead of being heavy and burdened by fears and worry and distrust, you experience simplicity, joy, trust, and lightness. Okay? Because that is the material expression of wisdom. And that material expression came from an energy of honoring gratitude. If you can be honored by another person, if you're grateful for other people's presence, then we can find joy in it. If we can be magnanimous and tolerant with other people, then we can trust them and we can experience lightness. If we tap into the energy of serenity, then everything will be very simple in life. Okay? And so with the materialization of wisdom, I want to give you with the following words that will help you succeed in any aspect of life. It is called 6 golden words in action. If you perform any act, do anything, and you apply the following golden words, you will become successful. Okay? You will have expressed your wisdom. So it's like this. If you want to do anything, do it simply. Okay, don't complicate it. Do it simply. If you're going to do anything, do it joyfully. Okay, the opposite of doing it joyfully is doing it grudgingly, and you know, that's gonna be hard. If you're gonna do anything, do it trustingly. Trust in yourself. Trust in whatever process that you have committed yourself to, and trust that you will achieve result. If you're going to do anything, do it lightly or gently, okay? Don't make a big deal out of it. If you're going to do anything, do it consistently. Okay, if you can do it anything consistently with simplicity, joy, trust, and lightness, you'll achieve result. And finally, if you're going to do anything, do it wholeheartedly. Okay. Okay, do you agree that if you do all of this 6 golden words in action, you will succeed? Look at anybody who's ever succeeded. They simplify things. Only through simplicity can we make it simple, joyful, and trusting, and light. In fact, it is only through simplicity that we can do it consistently. There's an N in here. Consistently. Okay? And consistently. See how I can fix that. Let's try that again. So, consistently. And if you're consistent, and if you put your whole heart to it, you will succeed. Okay. I try to make my weekly sharing as simple and as joyful as I can. I try to do it consistently. I try to give my heart to it, and then I do it trusting that the knowledge will benefit all of you, and I trust that all of you will enjoy it as well and learn from it and be transformed by it. And I trust that all of you will experience the kind of life that you want, a life of your chosen desire through level 1, level 2, level 3 wisdom. Okay, and I do it wholeheartedly, and I'm wholeheartedly grateful that you've taken your time to spend with us in either Wednesday evening or Thursday morning in Vietnam. I'm always honored by your presence, especially if you speak up and share with me what you've learned. It contributes to my own learning. Yeah. Okay. And that's pretty much I have in terms of material for today. Next week, we will talk about character. In fact, whereas wisdom and mentality are the kind of thing that we cultivate within ourselves, right? We plant the seed of wisdom. We plant the seed of mentality and attitude. As we become more well versed in how to rotate among the different levels of wisdom, and if we maintain a positive attitude, what that will do cause other people to recognize us as a person of rich character. Okay, that is going to be the candle of character that we're going to talk about next week. We actually begin this whole journey by talking about the character of authenticity. The character of authenticity begins with the emptiness of being. Okay, by recognizing the truth within ourselves, that we already always have that hearing and seeing, and by maintaining and initiating that emptiness of being, we can be at peace and we can express ourselves authentically. Next week, we'll talk a little bit more about character, among other things, whatever I think is appropriate. But for now, before we close, would anybody like to share the lesson, impression, and realization? Let's take a few minutes to share your lesson, impression, and realization. Okay, the principle of mental activation is a principle. It is also a principle of light. If we don't bring light into our brain by reviewing the lesson, then we're gonna lose what we learn. If we want to transform our life, we want to make sure we keep our brain active by looking for the lessons. Anybody? Andrew?
It's very nice, Frank.
Just nice. Okay.
Very good. Yeah.
This is a great sharing. We step by step to review because I have a chance to learn similar thing like this in Vietnamese. So pretty much easy to understand and applicable. Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Vuong.
Okay. Okay. Hello, Marianne.
Hi there. So what I understood is level one, you looking at the goodness in everyone, in people, correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So level one wisdom is doesn't matter they look like, doesn't matter what they say, what they do. You always find goodness in them. What you asking us to do is try to live like a living saint, you know. Level one, level two, level three. You know, you either, always good. Look at the goodness. Don't blame them. Don't find, negative thing, faults in anything. To me, it's like try to live like a living saint. And I can't do it. You know.
But what's your source concept that is giving you the response that I can't do it? What's wrong with being a saint?
I can't live like a saint. I mean,
Well,
I have my own business.
Did you study the part on causality?
Right, I know, the
Right.
cause and effect.
Do we want
right?
a good life? Do we want a fruit of life that is positive? Do we want a fruit of life that is desirable? then if you want a fruit of life that is positive and desirable, then by the law of causality, just plant good and positive seed. Never mind about being saint. Saints are just normal people. They just happen to understand causality on a deeper level. They just go to work on planting the right seed, and they will nurture those seeds with positive energy, energy of honoring, gratitude, of magnanimity and serenity. And by the consequence of law of causality, they will manifest themselves as a person of a certain kind of character that other people call saint. But all they do is they focus on the seed. So never mind about the saint, right? Just work on the seed. The seed of awareness, the seed of positivity within us. And then whether people call it saint or devil, whatever, that who cares? Our job is to plant the seed. We are only responsible for our own awareness and perception. Right? So if you're having a negative how do you say impression, if you have a negative mentality with respect to the word saint, then what seed have you been planting?
I haven't planned anything. I try to become, as good as I can.
Okay, good.
Right.
And you have three levels of wisdom now. You have 3 levels of wisdom, right? When you got nothing better to do, just be at peace. Emptiness. Know the hearing and know the seeing. That's level 3 wisdom. When you're dealing with other people, instead of focusing on good or bad or even looking for the good, you just initiate magnanimity. Just be generous. Create positive images about them. And when we're encountering a problem or another person who give us problem, then we can choose to look for the good. In fact, with level 1 wisdom, there's a wonderful application to level 1 wisdom. Instead of focusing on the problem, we focus on the lesson and be grateful for the lesson. Even if we encounter so many difficulties in life, instead of focusing on the problem, just focus on the lesson and be grateful for the lesson. It is the lesson that will transform it. It is the lesson, the positive learning that will expand our awareness and make us become a better person. And so everybody we encounter, especially the one who give us trouble, is an opportunity for us to learn something to become a better person. And if we just go through life and just initiate the lesson, impression, and realization in every situation, then we're constantly expanding our awareness, we're constantly learning, we're constantly growing, and our life is going to get better.
Right, I understand all that, but I mean, easy said than done. I need the tool that I have to look at every day that, remind me, or maybe, something that I can, cook it and eat it, swallow it.
Yeah, I know. I haven't given you the source concept of honoring gratitude, magnanimity, and serenity yet. So that's why, I just given you the sort of the general attitude and mentality. But next week we'll go in detail about what it means to be grateful and honoring. We'll talk about the attitude in more detail. We'll talk about magnanimity in detail. We'll talk about serenity in detail. And once you have a clear, beneficial source concept of those 3 mentality, and when you have a clear mental image of what that look like, then your energy will be balanced and positive with respect to that. Because right now, obviously, it's negative, and that's fine, because I haven't given you the source concept and the full picture just yet. Okay.
Right. You just give us a concept, not the two of those.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Thank you for that. That's very helpful. Yeah, that's very helpful.
But I find out myself that when I feel physically fit, healthy, then I'm easy to forgive and, people. But, if I'm not feeling well myself, hey, it's just like, leave me alone. Leave me alone. So I mean,
Yeah,
I need something that, it doesn't matter what the condition, what happened, I still stay cool. And I stay cool when people, really,
yeah.
demand care.
They exactly, yeah. The human body also have an impact on the human mind, right? Because everything is connected to each other. If our body is out of balance, if we're sick, it's going to affect our emotion, it's going to affect our mind, our personality, and it's going to make it hard for us to initiate these these corresponding energies. In fact, each of this part, our mind, we analyze, we differentiate, right? It's by nature we analyze and differentiate. But a person of wisdom, instead of analyzing and differentiating good and bad, positive and negative all the time, that becomes very tiring. We invite you to initiate the energy of, let's use this color, magnanimity. Magnanimity in mind. Okay? Be generous, be loving when we can. We'll talk about what magnanimity means in detail, and you get a full source concept about that. In terms of emotion, okay, instead of responding 84,000 bubbles of illusion, okay, those represent the feelings that human beings have. Instead of 84,000 bubbles of illusion, just focus on one highly positive, high energy emotion, the emotion of honoring gratitude.
Oh, so you already went over that human structures,
Yeah, in this
human
event,
construct.
I started with the human construct. Okay, but we'll get back to it. We'll get back to it. Okay. Right. Instead of wasting our time and energy on all the ups and downs of emotion, just focus on one high energy emotion. Be grateful for everything and everyone. Find the lesson in every encounter and be grateful for the lesson. That is how our mind would expand. That is how our life will get better. And with the being, our inner being, our core being, okay, we receive truly. Once we receive truly, we tap into the energy of serenity. Okay, so these are the three mentality and attitude that we can maintain as a person of wisdom. And we rotate, okay? We rotate as appropriate. When you got nothing better to do, just be at peace. Okay, initiate serenity. But if you stay at serenity all day long, and we can't really do anything. We don't contribute any value to other people. If we cannot judge things to be right or wrong, good or bad, then we don't take any action, and we cannot, help anybody, and our life doesn't change either. But if we're stuck in constantly analyzing positive, good or bad, then that gets very tiring. So we have to reset. Okay, we have to reset by going back to that emptiness of being. Anybody ever use a phone or a computer that after you use for a while, it kind of gets slowed down and it get bogged down? It start to behave weird. Anybody have experienced a phone or a computer that, yeah. What's the fastest and most simple way to repair a computer that's really slowed down? You just kind of reset it. Okay, there's a reset button. It clears out all the electrical charge that get built up in those capacitor, and it restarts, and everything is kind of smooth again. Same thing with our life. Okay, when we get bogged down by our mind and our emotion, just reset. Enter a state of emptiness, and we experience infinity. And at some point, we have to get out of that state. We have to analyze, we have to differentiate. But instead of choosing to react negatively, we can respond positively with honoring gratitude. Instead of analyzing and differentiating a good about other people, we initiate magnanimity. Okay, people don't have problem. We can create positive potential. We can be tolerant and we can be generous with other people as appropriate when appropriate. And that is the mark of a person of wisdom. And that is the first candle in the house of holistic wealth. A person who is rich in wisdom is a person who can rotate among different state of awareness, initiate different state of mentality at different appropriate point in time. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Frank.
Yeah, yeah. And we begin with, awareness. Okay. If right now and we talk about any of this and we get a negative inner state, that's fine. That's because you haven't have a full awareness of what it is just yet. And we're still part of a journey. And I will try to give you more positive mental images, more beneficial source concepts, so that eventually when we think about any of these concepts, you will experience a state of balance and positively oriented mentality toward it. And then when you have a full awareness of something, you will have the reality of that. You will have a reality of serenity. When we think about serenity and we feel balanced and positive, we know what serenity look like. We know what serenity is in terms of source concept. When we think about wisdom and we feel balanced and positive, and that is because we have a clear image of wisdom. We have a clear image of, clear source concept, positive source concept about wisdom. Okay.
All right, sir. Thank you.
All righty. All right. Any more impression, realization, or lesson or question before we say good night and goodbye for this week?
Thanks, Frank.
Okay. All right. We'll see you guys next week. Okay.
Thank you.
Take
Have a
care.
good one. Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.